Well, welcome to the Millionaire Doctor number 3 video. This one is about how to become wealthy realistically, within realistic standards. We've heard of the real millionaires who live, by and large, very frugally. The ostentatious, affluent, acting doctors, who in particular want to be like the glittering rich. Is there a middle ground here? Is there something that really makes sense? Well, yes, there is. Remember that 2/3 of doctors are income statement affluent. In other words, they have a lot of money that they like to spend and they don't necessarily save. Well, let's have the wealthy dentist help us out here. One thing that you can do, one major thing, is to not upgrade your home so often. Yes, do not upgrade so often. $1 million home, normally, most doctors will spend about 5% of the home value per year on upgrading. That can be $50,000 a year or more. That's a lot of money. Whereas a home that costs $500,000, normally the upgrade amount is 2 to 3%. The actual percent goes up geometrically as the home price increases. The higher the cost of the home, the better the neighborhood, the more apt you are to spend on upgrades. 2 to 3% is maybe $15,000 a year on upgrades versus $50,000. That's a savings of $35,000 a year, doctors. $35,000 a year. Guess what? The average doctor saves about $35,000 a year for retirement. Yeah, in a lot of cases it should be more than that, but that helps tremendously. Please stage your upgrades. Stay within a lower amount of upgrade expenditures. Worst offenders, kitchens, we all know that. Landscaping. Landscaping fees have gone through the roof. A home across the street last summer, the family spent $75,000 on a 400 square foot, 20 by 20 area, no pool, no fountains. They regraded the entire area, bricked it in, put in a fire pit and a Fire Magic barbecue. $75,000. That's sick. Okay, furniture purchases. Lots of families like to change out their furniture once every 5 years or so. That's nuts. Restoration Hardware. I love their catalogs. They have beautiful furniture. Be careful. Young dentists in particular. If you're looking for a home, look for a modest home in an area that has great schools. Again, modest home in an area that has great schools. A lot of the millionaire doctors follow this routine. What happens? Well, you save $40,000 a year for 2 kids going to private school. Yes, it's about $20,000 a year now for private K through 12 for kids. Cars. My rule is if you can pay cash for it, you can buy anything you want. And I stand by that. Now, realistically, it makes sense to buy a luxury car that's 2 to 3 years old, which I talked about on the previous video. You can probably save 40% or $30,000. That makes a big difference for a lot of us. Entertaining. Oh, let's go back one. I'm sorry, I missed it. As far as buying used cars, please be very careful buying a car 2013 or earlier. Superstorm Sandy, remember that? There's a lot of cars out there all over the country now that have been retitled so you can't check their records and know if they have water damage which will affect your electrical systems or not. Make sure that if you buy a used car you have it checked out extremely carefully by an electrical specialist. Entertaining, talked a lot about that and how you can spend a lot of money. How do you realistically do it? Provide some spirits and some regular wines and then specialty wines to your guests. Cater from not an expensive corporate restaurant, but a local family restaurant. They'll bust their butts to provide great food and lots of it because they're on parade. They can make money if they impress you. Have a theme. Western theme, 80s theme, Monte Carlo theme where you dress up. People will remember the theme and the food much more than the spirits and the wine that you've served. As far as RVs, boats, and planes, millionaires rent them, they don't buy them. Rent them. Rolexes? Hey, to have a Rolex, I made a big deal of it in one of the videos that it shows high consumption. If you want the Rolex, get one. but don't have 30. Last thing I'd like to bring up is education. My wife has been in public education at state colleges for many years. Both she and I went to a high-level liberal arts private college, which costs a fortune these days. Her take is that both the prestige and the actual teaching that you get at the public universities is similar to what you'd get at a private university. Here's some public universities that have high prestige. Some of them are tough to get into, but have high prestige and don't cost a fortune. Okay, UC Berkeley, UCLA, UC San Diego. These are 3 California university schools which are very difficult to get into but provide a great education for less money. University of Virginia, Michigan, University of North Carolina, William and Mary, that's a public institution, Wisconsin, Washington, Connecticut, and Maryland, and Pitt. All provide great education, high prestige, and costs that are not through the roof. Thanks so much for listening in. Hopefully this helps.